All right, John, if you want to kick us off, mate, let's go.
Perfect. Awesome. Hey, everybody. My name's John Bell. I run a small business called Cody Wealth. I give free KiwiSaver advice to people. And look, working with Luke's been absolutely amazing for me. So I think the biggest thing I took out of the conversation with Luke is honestly just a little bit of ownership. Like, it's not like he reinvented the wheel for me at all and gave me something new and totally out of the box that I had to prepare and go and do with my business. It was just genuinely a little bit of like, hey, these are these basic things that you know you should be doing, but are you actually doing them? Are you actually checking in with yourself at the end of every week, at the end of every month, after 3 months, making sure that you tick those boxes and actually followed up on them? And for me, I know it sounds like such a small basic win, but as business owners, sometimes we can just kind of jump to the next step rather than going back, looking and going, did we tick off all the boxes we should have this week or last month? And that was one of the things that really changed the way I run my business. Like, it simplified things for me, and in all honesty, since then, it's kind of changed the way I've set up all my processes, where in a way that I go, okay, now when I do this person, like meet with this client, help this client out, what are the things I need to do that are going to allow me to best serve them in the next week, month, whatever. And that's generated like brand new referrals from me from just being more in touch with my clients and relating to them. So for me, the ownership thing has been one of the biggest parts about the whole like for me, it was an experiment working with Luke. I'd never done anything like that before. So the word I'd used was an experiment. And honestly, it paid massive dividends for me. And I'm super glad I did it. And I couldn't recommend it more highly. So that's probably the biggest thing from my side and how it's helped my business. Really keen to listen up and see how he's benefited the rest of you as well.
Mate, how many customers are you up to now? This will blow people away.
I'm at 4,000 now, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, didn't expect that to be the case 4 years in, but no, it's been amazing. Honestly, the journey is so fun, and I've met some awesome people along the way, and looks like I'm going to meet a few more tonight, which is cool.
I'd imagine you're driving north, mate, back to a region that you care so much about. And tell me, do you have your your trusty notebook sitting next to you in the car, or do you pack that away on the trip?
Mate, the notebook's been out. I've been pulling over the whole way north, and I'm old school as, but you can see my notebook for the day is just full of everybody I've been talking to. So, yeah, I don't change up the way I go about giving business, and today's been another great day where I've talked to about 20 or so new clients. So, yeah, that's great. I don't think the old school isn't done yet.
So just talk us through very quickly, mate, like your regimented process with that, because I think there's some gold in there, right? Like you're collecting data over the years and thousands of like different names and touch points that you've been writing down.
Yeah, 100%. And like before I worked with you, I really was, it was just in these golden notebooks that I had every single year. But now, through building better processes and allowing me to do those follow ups and making the right plans, I actually now have a database, like you said, and I have information on where my clients all sat before they spoke to me, where they sit after they've spoke to me, the type of things that they all wanted to discuss. And then it just allows me that when I have those new conversation with clients to go, hey, these are the things that people actually care about. These are the things that I can help out, get those quick instant wins, build those trust levels up to there, be able to broaden those conversations later on as well. So yeah, getting it out of the notebook and getting it into a process has been massive for me.
Good man. I think as well, something you've done that's really smart is like you've built so much data through customers anyway, and now you're going through those customers. So basically, who do they know? Who do they work for? Can you go in and speak at the office? That sort of thing. And you're all around the country at this rate, right?
Yeah, like yeah, and it's awesome. Like for me, word of mouth is still the best way of doing business, right? It's not easy for every single business. Mine's obviously light touch in terms of I'm checking in with my clients once a year, which is really cool. But everybody has a KiwiSaver, so it's easy for me. I'm not having to like sell something or promote something or anything like that. And so yeah, being able to like work with one client, do an honest day's work by them has allowed them to go, man, John, if you're able to help me out, you're going to be able to help out my auntie, my uncle, whoever. And like you said, I'm driving north right now because I sorted somebody out on Monday, and they were like, John, I've got a toolbox with the team on Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Can you be there? And I was like, sweet. So as soon as I finished work today, I've just jumped in the truck and I'm driving up north. Don't need any excuse to get north. And yeah, talking with their team tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Good man. And I remember one of the things that you thought that you want to achieve longer term was sponsor one of the Northern rugby players, right? And I challenged you on, well, why not just do it now?
Yeah, you did, and it's been fantastic, and the Taniwha are winning as well. So hey, it's all working out.
Good man. All right, mate. We'll move to. Are you going to carry on driving, mate? Like, don't feel like you've got to stick around. I know you've got a trip to make. Oh, that's John. Yeah. Are you on mute?
Sorry, I'll get through the next bit of service, I reckon, and then I'll jump back in.
Okay, mate. Cool.
Perfect. Cheers, team.
Legend. All right, let's jump to Connor because we'll try and keep him to 3 minutes and even me to 3 minutes. It might be a challenge, but start from the start, mate. Let's go.
Uh, Originally from the UK, traveled pretty much all over the world trying to find where I'm going to settle. It was hard to find somewhere to settle because I didn't have any qualifications or any schooling experience. So everywhere I went to go, sorry, you need qualifications and you needed to get sponsored. Anyway, I ended up in New Zealand, and I was crystal clear on what I wanted to do in terms of work. I wanted to be a landscaper, and I met a guy who basically mentored me, and I took on board everything he said, took it with me, and came to Queenstown, got a job as a gardener, got sponsored, got me residency, got me horticulture qualifications, and then the day my residency came in, this was about over the course of like 8 years, quit my job on the same day and started a landscaping business. And yeah, the first year was, pretty chill. The second year went through the roof. I was just getting dragged by my feet. Did 51 days in a row, which was stupid. And just, I thought, push. I'm finally at the point where I'm at the table. So I'm just going to push, 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 push. And eventually ended up getting burnt. So obviously, I listened to the podcast, Keep the Change and Next Advisory. I was like, right, I'm reaching out. Let's go. So I sent an email, spoke to Luke, and yeah, refined everything. And dare I say it, I'm in a decent spot and I'm enjoying it. So it's good. One of the things I took away, oh God, one of the things, where do I start? I think the key for me was saying no to a job didn't mean that I was losing out. It meant that I was creating space for the jobs that I actually wanted to do. And then when I realized what it was that I was good at and who were the people I wanted to work with, then I could just start saying no. And I started building systems where I can kind of weed out any tire kickers along the way that are going to, take me for the ride sort of thing or waste my time. And yeah, I've just been focusing on the things I want to do. And I didn't really have any self-worth with the business, to be honest with you. I was definitely people pleasing a lot. And Luke showed me all my data and said, basically, look, you're doing well. You can put your prices up and start charging based on value. And I was terrified because I was thinking, fucking hell, if I do this and everyone leaves, I'm back to square one. It took me 9 years to get to bring myself to the table. And fucking hell, and it went the opposite way. It just started getting better and better. And now I work with people who, I feel valued because the people I'm working with, they want me and they want me around. And that just, feeds into me and I take it into what I do. And yeah, I'm loving it. It's great. It's awesome.
Are you, can I summarize without giving away any details like what your next chapter might look like on the personal front, or do we need to keep that a bit low key?
Which bit? The
Where you might be moving to?
Oh yeah, go ahead. All good.
Or do you want to tell a story?
So I had 9 staff and a couple of people floating about last year, and I had loads of mouths to feed, and it was so stressful. So when I got in touch with Luke, I went through this phase where I kind of just trimmed the fat with people who was working for me and what I wanted to do, etc. And Luke was saying you need to focus on the jobs that you want to do because you're going to meet the right people. So I'm thinking, hey, well, I'm paying for this service, and I might as well listen to what he's going to say. So obviously I did it and took a leap of faith. And then this lady got in touch with us to do basically the dream job of what I've been trying to, curate for myself over time. Anyway, did a series of work for her, some big projects, and she came down from Auckland to meet us to see the work. And she just asked me what my living arrangement was, and I told her what my living arrangement was, that I was renting and blah blah blah. And she offered to she asked us if we wanted to put a tiny home on her land for me and my partner and me 1.5-year-old daughter. And I was a bit hesitant because I didn't want to rock the boat with my landlord here because I've got a good relationship with her. Basically, she just implied that she would buy the tiny home for us and that we could pay her back with rent to own. And so that's all gone through and interest free, 10-year lease on the land. If we walk away, she'll give us 50% of what we put into it. And I was like, hey, what's the catch here? Like, this is a bit out the gate. And she just said, plain and simple, that she's never had a service like ours in Auckland or Queenstown, and she feels that it's important for me to live out my vision and passion on her land because she's not there. I was like, right, sign me up.
Oh, mate, fantastic. And I think like for context for Connor, like your mum still lives in the same house for your entire life, right?
Yeah,
Kat? Yeah.
yeah. So I was born and raised in the house that my mum was born and raised in, and my mum still lives there, but the council still owns it. And 93% of the people where I'm from are all in social housing, and it's not changing. It's probably not going to change. So there's no sense of ownership or anything like that really. So it's pretty big for me personally.
Yeah, it's bloody cool, mate. He Connor absolutely loves New Zealand. He's like, they're gonna let me buy shit here. You're allowed to own stuff. This is crazy. Yeah,
Listen, this country is unreal. It's
yeah,
unreal. It's
yeah.
unreal.
Sorry, Connor, can I ask a question? Just you mentioned that you've got a better way of weeding out tire kickers. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I went on ChatGPT and basically started trying to formulate questions that could guide me to what it is I actually wanted to do. So I filled out a questionnaire, and if someone rings and it's on the spot, I've basically got my questions like memorized, so I can just prompt them, or I can send them over by text message, or I'll just send them to fill out the questionnaire between now and when we arrange to meet. If they fill out that questionnaire, it gives me the answers of what it is, and I don't say that I will take it on board. I'll say, I'll find out why I may be a good fit for them. And I basically just try and keep it a little bit grey so I'm not committing. Because back in the day, if they said me, can you come around and look at this job? I'd be like, yes, 100%, let's go, blah, blah, blah. And I get there and it was just a crap job. Or it just wasn't the person that I wanted to work with. But it's too late. I've already committed. I've already thrown myself at it. So now I can't back out. And that was the theme, basically. So I just came up with direct questions, basically, of what it is they want to do, what is the value they're trying to get out of working with me, where they heard me from, and it's just a mixture of general questions of what the actual job is, what do they want to get out of it, and yeah, what the forward thinking is with the garden. Is it one off? Is it regular? What values do they have in terms of gardening? Is their garden a burden for them? Do they want me to come around and just tick the boxes and get out of there, or do they actually enjoy their job, or do they enjoy the garden? Sorry, or do they see that the garden is a horticultural asset that maintains and adds value to their property, and blah blah blah. And I put together a little booklet basically of all these different sources within New Zealand of all these different real estate people who talk about how a good looking garden actually protects the value of their property, etc. So obviously I've just got that to send with all these different references for them to look through in the meantime. If they get through those questions and they read that booklet and they still want me to go around, then I'll go around. And obviously I'm charging to go around as well. I'm not going around for free anymore. So if they get past all that, then they're clearly interested, and it's really scary because that's quite a few different things for them to get through. But if they get through that, then it seems like we're a good fit.
Lovely. Oh, should we move to you then, Andy? Did someone just drop off, or did my? Anyway, we'll move to you, Andy.
Yeah, right. So I bought a marquee business 2 years ago, and I got into it because we ended up getting a marquee for my dad's funeral, and I thought, shit, there's some good margin in here. And it looks like an easy business to run, and there is good margin, but it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I used to run gas stations, so obviously cash flow was a little easier to manage. And so that's basically why I went to Luke for some help to be like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing with this cash flow. So he put together a really good model, and then just helped me get clearer around some of the administration side. So I've employed an admin person. I'm getting better at saying no to jobs. And basically that's around talking about their budget. I'd like to talk about values as well, but just not in this industry. It's what they can afford. And there's probably a little bit of work to go around that, because sometimes we say yes to jobs when it looks really barren. There's no work going on, and then you say yes to a job, commit to a job that's further away than you usually would. and then the work comes in. It's just in our industry at the moment, everything is very last minute, which is a little bit stressful, but you sort of just got to kind of go with it. So yeah,
Yeah, mate.
questions?
That's the I mean, you're in a really like you're in the tornado, let's say, or the eye of the storm, where it's like the event space where people aren't spending, and then even you've done some work in the movie industry, let's say, right, as well, and that's slowed down. So you've brought, I mean, it's a rash idea to buy a business after your dad's funeral. We'll just acknowledge that just to start with. But love the courage. But yeah, hoping for you that things start picking back up, but it's a very challenging industry and space, right? I think you'll have some good crossover with some of what Matt's seeing as well.
Yeah, and it just weirdly, I think it's slowed down more this year than it did last year. So they sort of said survive to 25, and now we've got to 2025. It's looking a bit shallow. So it is a little bit of a game of survival at the moment, and then just holding out and seeing competitors fall off. And so I do have some advantages where I can run my business pretty lean. But before I saw Luke, I went a bit heavy on paying off some debt, and it's left me a little bit stuck. And so it's just part of, and my accountant was great for my last position, but he hasn't been giving me very good business advice. So part of this year is just cutting sort of long-term loyalty that I had. I've changed banks. I've got a better deal from the BNZ than I did from the ASB. They're way more responsive if I need things. Still haven't got my final accounts from Jeff. Once they come through, I'll start to move on with the accounting. And just try and get a more streamlined team on board.
Hey, what was it like getting some admin help? Because I feel like when we first caught up, it was like shit. The candle is only so long, and is Andy's candle going to burn out? But I feel like it's been a big help for you getting some admin help.
Yeah, for sure. And it's and the hard part is just kind of like unloading everything onto it, but it's making life a lot easier. And even just the minor things like, can you do that? And not being proud about it, I should be doing that. It's just like, you need to do that so I can get freed up to do this.
Andy turns up to meetings and he's got two phones, and he can answer both of them at the same time. And have I'm slowly encouraging him that may not be the best way to use two phones going forward, but you'll get there, mate.
Yeah, one's the burner phone, but if you deal with Indians, and especially Indian brides, they will ring you at all hours. So that's why I never give my personal phone number for work purposes at all anymore.
Smart. Well, yeah, you're still in progress. I think you've got a little way to go with where you want to get to, but I'm sure as the market comes back as well, you'll be. But you, like you say, you're in a good position compared to some of your competitors, right? And I think you've learned a lot about business. Yeah. Hey, Julianne, do you want to go from here?
Yeah, okay. So I am a chemical engineer, working in sort of consultancy in drinking water treatment, basically providing safe drinking water. I started working for myself. I was in consultancies for a long time. Then I went and started working for myself about maybe 2 years ago. And I decided to work with Luke because I was basically like had enough work, but I was working long hours, and I really was interested in taking someone on to help me. But that was probably quite, that was a big step for me. I think the word conservative was mentioned a few times in our conversations. But probably the biggest lesson from the 90 days working with Luke is really understanding. We did lots of iterations with my cash flow and talking about financial position and talking about different scenarios, which kind of took a bit of the fear, I guess, out of doing these things. And then, talking about not having to do everything yourself and getting the help in and stuff like that to free up my time again. So the business is actually not just consuming all of my time. So.
And you took the leap, right? And hire number one is on board.
Yep, Hi number one's on board. She's been on board for about 2 weeks now, which is good.
Wow, how's
Yeah.
that going?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, it's been nice actually. And it's nice to talk to someone as well about a few different things and run some ideas past them as well. Um,
Can I
yeah.
ask, have you won any work in the last 2 weeks?
I potentially have a new client. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I
Julianne, Julianne's
might be
very,
looking at number,
oh,
sorry.
I was going to say
You go.
very humble, but very, very good at what she does. And I think it was pretty evident from me being on the outside that once she gets a bit more capacity and starts doing a bit of business development, there's probably going to be more work than she can handle. So don't know if her partner's sitting either side of her, but he's
Oh no,
probably,
he's with the
uh,
kids.
oh,
Sorry.
okay, yeah. I think he was pushing you to hire 10 people at one stage. We're like, whoa, man, we got to slow down and just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe somewhere in between us two. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting. How does it feel to be, responsible for somebody or have a staff member like these last couple of weeks? What's the feeling been like?
Yeah, it's been good actually. And yeah, like lots of the people that I've talked to have been like, congratulations on taking someone on because it's kind of become known, I guess. And so it's been nice to have that recognition as well, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you were like a little bit worried about what some people might think about that too, right? Where it's like, oh, are they going
Yeah.
to get access to you? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's fine too. I think it's just people think less about that than I did actually.
Mm.
Because they know that I'm still overseeing everything that goes out. So
I
yeah.
think the other thing I like for you guys is it seemed like by the end of the 90 days, you were having different conversations as a family of like, where could we live? Like, where do we want to live? What's possible? Which is pretty exciting, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And thinking about how we can set things up so because we've got our kids are quite young, so I still want to be able to go to school activities and do school holiday things with them. I don't want it to be everything and being able to set up the business so that that can happen. So I've got the help, the support to get through the things we need to get through. So
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking forward to seeing what the next 12 months brings for you guys. It's going to be bloody exciting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Hey, should we go to you, Chris, next? Because I feel like there might be some parallels or similarities there.
That's definitely true. I've been taking some notes, and it's been pretty inspiring to hear Connor's story. And thanks, Julianne, for sharing yours as well. I'm in a similar position, I suppose. I'm about to take on a first hire. The ad was meant to be out today, but I haven't had time to review it, so we're going to get at it tomorrow. But my name's Chris Gracie. I live in Hastings in Hawke's Bay. My professional background is in ICT business analyst and project management as well. And about 3 years ago, I woke up and I thought I can deliver so much more value and to so many more people if I start my own business and I do this my way. And that's what I've been striving to do for the last 3 years. So ProPartner is an ICT project management firm, and we've got some really big competition. We set our sights on Datacom and Deloitte, and we want to be as big as them one day. And we're really focused on a specific set of steps that we take clients through, and that's how we differentiate ourselves. That you look at these big websites, you look at these big businesses, and the feedback we get from our clients is that we've chosen you because we have direct access. We know the quality of work is going to be high, and there's accountability there, and we don't stop until the job's done, and we care after the invoice is sent. So we've developed this process with them, and now it's about de-risking the way we deliver work, heavily reliant on contractors at the moment. And in my first session with Luke, I flew up to Auckland and we sat down and we just laid out the risks of the business. And the one that stood out the most is I want to build a sustainable business that can operate without me here sometimes. And with contractors, that's very difficult to do. So we're on this journey now of building up a team that can deliver the quality of work that we've become known for with a small client pool, and try to sell that and try to tell that story in the market too.
A big challenge for you, mate, or like speaking on your behalf, but much like Julianne, like you're very good at what you do, and there's probably no shortage of work if you put your hand up nationwide and say, hey, we can do this. And I almost get the sense with you, like you love it so much that you could literally fit work into every spare minute, but almost you having to decide like how much work are you actually going to do, right?
That's right. I want a team to be able to deliver as much work as I believe I can. And I'm realistic. We split that out across multiple people, but that's the goal. I don't want to slow down. I want to be delivering as much value to as many businesses as we can because we love solving their problems. And that's the big learning, the epiphany we had in the 90 days is in the last 4 weeks, I haven't spoken to you, Luke, but gone back and forth on this idea of putting out the ad, reaching out to the recruiter. I've been managing 5 contractors for the last 2 years. And how different is it? I'm telling myself it's not very. And it's just believing in yourself and backing yourself that the work's going to come and putting steps in place to get the message out. So, yeah, resonating with the stories you told there, Andy and Julianne too.
A bit of probably hesitation from your side, mate, around like, is the employee going to be as driven as the contractor, right? Like you're a bit nervy that you're going to get somebody and they may not be exactly what you want, and then where to from there. Would that be fair?
It's definitely fair. I'm checking my expectations, of course, but certainly like we're in it for the long term. We're not looking for a short fix that we can deliver work out the door on day 1 or day 10. Like this is a business we're going to build for the long term. So we're willing to invest in those people too.
Nice. Nice, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing where you get to. I'm sure you'll find the right people. I'm very adamant. And if not, we'll have to keep searching.
Well, I promised myself I wouldn't come back to the third 90-day session and not having taken action on that. So I can say I have now.
Good man. Nice. Sweet. Let's go down south. Matt, Mr. Withers.
Yes, how's it going? Matt Withers. So we have a company, Withers & Co., which is a branded merchandise and corporate apparel company. It's myself and my partner, Janelle. We've been doing it for 10 years, work from home and have 2 staff in the Philippines. So quite an established business, but we kind of got to a point first quarter of this year where things were pretty slow, cash flow was getting pretty tight, and even with lots of experience, we kind of run out of ideas. So got in contact with Luke and just working through a process with him, improving cash flow. But I think for me, probably the 2 biggest things that he brought, one was a bit of energy, which I think we were lacking, so a bit of fresh blood, and then just a bit of focus around marketing and sales and just pushing harder. And probably didn't tell us to do anything we hadn't already done before, but we just weren't doing all of the things. And if any of you guys do sales and marketing within your business, you'll probably know that there's no one silver bullet. You need to be posting on LinkedIn, and you need to be posting on social media, and you need to be sending emails, and you need to be asking for referrals. And we've done those things in the past, but we've kind of dropped off on some of them. So a reinvigoration of that has been great.
Yeah, I think the thing with tell the story. Are you allowed to tell the story about your big nationwide client making sandwiches somewhere?
They are, yeah. If you guys are based in the North Island and you all look like North Islanders, you might have seen a promotion in Foursquare, which is where you can go in and buy a cheese toastie or a toasted sandwich that the guys press down, and Charlie, who's the Foursquare guy, his face goes into the toasted sandwich maker. So we delivered that into, I think it was 80 Foursquares around the North Island. So a commercial sandwich press with a custom paper bag, a custom sticker, a little PVC keyring of a sandwich that you get if you buy 10 sandwiches, and a old school Velcro wallet, because the entry price is $3. So they wanted to hear people ripping open the Velcro wallet and getting their $3 out to buy their toasted sandwich.
Yeah, they can bring like anything to life, and that's what I guess I always challenge you guys on, Matt, right? It's like the more you're telling everybody what it is that you can do, then you're probably going to spark people to say, well, what about this? And as an example for myself, got Keep the Change Unplugged coming up in December, and I said to Matt and Janelle, like, I want to do something, but I don't want to do something major because I don't want to keep setting the expectation. If you come to this, there's going to be this epic thing. And then also I don't want to do the admin, and I don't want to have to do any design. So Matt and Janelle have basically like come up with a few ideas, and we landed on like a little notebook, pocket sized. And then Janelle's done the design for me. So on the front, it basically just says like get shit done. And then you open it up, and it's got a handwritten note from me that they've embedded into the first page. And then 6 pages of goals. So what's your goal? Who do you need to be to achieve these? Who do you need to speak to? How are you going to do it? And then a January, February, March, April, May month end. So assets minus liabilities equals your net worth. And then bang, like 1,000 people are going to get one of those. Keep this in your pocket for 2026. You said that you'd set these goals. You can track your finances. Nice and simple way to do it. Get shit done. Happy days. So they'll bring that to life for me, and I don't have to try and like go and organize it all. But nothing is too hard for you guys, is what I always observe.
Yeah, and we've sort of picked up on that working with Roy as well. So Luke introduced us to Roy at Burst Digital, who does his social media marketing, and we're starting to crank that up. So that was a good insight into the business. You know, you need to put certain energy out to get the right client back. So it was finding videos and content and cool case studies. And it was quite often, hey, we did this great project for Joseph Parker or for Stephen Adams. It was much more fun for us and much more engaging than we printed 1,000 plastic pens. And we'll still take the order for 1,000 plastic pens because they pay the bills, but it's those other ones that are a bit more fun for us. And I think we'll get more clients to come on board as well.
Speaking of, mate, I think I need to get a couple of like quarter zip next advisory type printed out AS color.
Well, yeah, I'm actually thinking an embroidery just on the sleeve, because at the moment I can only see your shoulders. So maybe that way you're going to be, or maybe just a bit more chest press.
Yeah, well, probably both, mate. Yeah, but genuinely was thinking about the old quarter zip, so I'll come back to you with that. But no, you guys I think we've still got a session to go, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so you're deep in it, but you're taking action and you're making progress. And I think you've got a wedding to prepare for at some stage as well. So there's a bit of drive there to make some profit, right?
There is, yeah. There's drive to make money and drive to get skinny. So I think we'll just cut back on the groceries and make more sales.
Happy days. Righto, let's head back to the north and check in with Gordon. Been waiting patiently. That's not a fake backdrop. He's out in the garage. Trust me, he has his meetings with me at 6 a.m. Well, 10 a.m. Let's be honest. But sorry, I said back to the north, but you're just around the corner. Sorry for Matt. But there's no cold air coming out this morning. What's going on?
It's kind of warmed up a bit down here. It's good.
Nice.
Still got fire on though.
Good man. Good man.
Well, that's inside. Yeah, look, I'm Gordon, born and raised Wellington, living in Christchurch because I was overseas and met my better half back there, and happy wife, happy life. Come back here, electrician for 20 years and worked up to project manager, and the stress of project management in construction, the combined with other things and wanting to be better for myself. I think an opportunity came up a year and a half ago to do some contract project management work, and just jumped at it and was of the thing that I'll just work it out as I go. And was going to do a little bit of electrical work on the side. That's sort of the project management work. It was for a government agency, and it sort of fell through with the change of government finally dropping down. So the electrical's now the main breadwinner. And got in touch with Luke because it just doesn't work itself out. And and I needed some ideas, and it's really good being an electrician, and I know how to be an electrician, but it was the business side of things that I was really struggling with. And probably then the best thing to come from Luke so far, I'm 2 sessions deep, but would be the cash flow analysis. And that's just started to put my mind at ease about my money and where it's at, and that I'm actually doing all right. And like having someone who knows what they're talking about telling you that you're going okay is worth the amount of money that you pay for the course. I think just having that pat on the back saying you're good is the best thing. And then probably the other thing is thinking like a business owner in 5 years, or trying to, and encouraging me to think like that. And then if any of you have read the Dan Carter book, he talks about what would an All Black great do. And so my wife's turned that on its head, and it's what would Luke and Phil tell you to do?
Jeepers. Jeepers, Scott.
Oh, no pressure, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just unplug these and just see if Taz will hear this in the background. Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah, so that's what I've taken out. And look, I'm looking forward to the next session in the next couple of weeks, and where I can go from there.
Good man. Have you been doing plenty of business development where you can?
Yeah, so I getting in touch with people. And that's one thing that I need to keep going on and get better at. I've got in touch with someone that I did a job for on his boat, and I'm going to see him in his workshop in Christchurch and hopefully get some work off them, and popping back to see customers that I've already been to. So I dropped off a coffee to some people that I did some work for and go with them. Recently got price checked, which was a real interesting process that I went through. Didn't know it was happening, and came out on the right side of it, which was really actually quite angry about it at the time, because it's a client that I work for, and you kind of get complacent that why would they price check me? But where's the loyalty type thing? So I was pretty angry about it, but then afterwards was really like, after I came out on the right side of it, was real, actually looking back on it, good experience to go through, and just helped me.
Mm. And what about the tutoring? You haven't stuck back to your ways of spending.
Nah. So I've got one. I cut back one night. I think I told you that last time,
Yeah.
which that's been the best thing ever. And I'll be cutting back the other night. I've managed to get some tutoring work in the day, for a better rate, which is it's still not a great rate, but it's the opportunity behind it is better. So it's allowing me to upskill more.
Yeah. Upskill
So
yourself and then potentially people who may become an employee one day. Is that what you mean?
yeah, upskilling myself in more ways than one, and putting me in front of a different set of faces in terms of, if you want to say, proximity to
Yeah.
people in the electrical industry that I may be able to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good man. Well, there's still plenty of work to do, but
Yeah, man, I've still got heaps to do.
yeah, that's the way. And Gordon's been good enough to let his sessions be recorded, so I think they've probably helped another couple of accounting firms work out how
Yeah.
these 90-day sessions work as well, mate. So they'll be grateful for that. Yeah.
I know, that's been real awesome too. I've actually had a couple of people reach out, and say thanks,
Awesome.
like on the back end, and people that you wouldn't expect. So that's been real,
Wow.
real
Yeah,
cool.
good man. You've been really vulnerable with that. The tutoring chat. So Gordon like loves tutoring and helping out with that, but I was challenging on whether maybe the tutoring has to happen later. Like maybe we need to focus on the business now and do the philanthropy piece, even though there is a bit of monetary reward for it, but it's outside of office hours and he's away from the family.
Yeah.
And so I was challenging him, well, maybe we're not, the business version isn't allowing us to do that yet. We've got to work on that later on. And I don't think he really liked it, but he leant into it.
Nah, but it was the best. Like I already knew the answer, but again, like other people have said, having someone tell you the answer makes it more real. I don't know. It makes it, you already know what you need to do. You just someone tells you, well, then we'll do it. rather
Yes,
than
mate.
not.
Well, plenty more in store for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you get to. Hey, we will go back up north this time, and Jason, mate, try not to put us all to shame with the amount of action that you take in about 6 weeks. It's pretty unreal. But do you want to give us an intro and then rattle off the 64,000 things that you've done?
Yeah, look, my name's Jason. I'm from Rotorua, and my wife and I have got a business here called Enlist Holiday Homes, managing holiday houses. We look after about 100 holiday houses all in Rotorua, and business has been going for about 12 years. And for the first 6 years, we sort of had it as a side hustle and had managers in while we did our jobs. I've been in the police all my life. My wife was a valuer. And so, yeah, we jumped into it 2 months after COVID struck. So we left our government jobs, and then all of a sudden COVID struck, which was a bit of a shock. But yeah, look, business has been going pretty well for us, really. I think we just got to a point where we probably just lacked the business skills. We knew how to run holiday homes, but we sort of grew the business and probably started managing staff and our business more than holiday homes. So that's where we needed the guidance. We're probably an easy win for you, Luke, because I think kind of everything you listed off, we're like, oh, no, we've never done any marketing, we've never done that, we've never done this. And so, yeah, it's been a real good process for us. I think moving it in our minds, even from a side hustle to a proper business, which it is. We've got 10 staff and probably another 10 contractors, and it's just professionalized us, I think. So, yeah, it's been a real good process.
Love that. Just casually thinks it's a side hustle with 100 people's homes under management, but you've ripped into some marketing. You've had a chat to Amy, which I'm sure we'll hear what she does very soon. You've looked at building an app as well. You've been tidying up some processes and whatnot, and I feel like you're reinvigorated to go, well, actually, maybe if we can manage 100, why can't we manage 200? Why can't we manage 300?
Yeah, totally. And you say reinvigorated, and you definitely give us a shot in the arm, and we sort of, probably a bit like everyone saying, you kind of get that validation from someone else to go, geez, you guys are doing all right, and your business is going along all right. And you go, yeah, gosh, what can we make of this, So, yeah, we're going to jump into all that stuff, marketing, and we've done a plan with Amy, and we're just finalising that, and that's been real good because I think we're a bit rudderless, we just put our head down and work, and then when Luke says, what do you want to do about this and that, we're like, oh, no idea, actually. We're just been doing the business, so it's been good. Yeah, definitely given us some direction.
I think the exciting thing, if I were running your business, is like, once you get all those processes and whatnot right, then it's shit. We are at 100 and we're good at this. We know what we're doing. It works well. You've got some great ideal customers. And then we looked at the total addressable market size and then go, well, how do we, like, if we just want another 100 more, where are those 100 going to come from? And then when we started working out, okay, marketing, what if marketing doesn't work? Okay, like who might know some of these people already? Can we do flyer drops? Like the more people you can get in front of, then it's going to come. That's the exciting thing to watch play out for you guys.
Yeah, no, we're excited too. It's cool. Yeah, really
Brilliant.
enjoying it.
Good man. Thank you for that. Well, Amy, take the floor.
G'day. I'm Amy. I started the 90 days with Luke actually it was the very beginning of the year because we hadn't even come back from the holidays yet. So my background is I had a financial planning business, which I kind of grew from the ground up over about 13 years. And then I sold that business and had a bit of time out, had some twin boys who are now 3, and then got a bit bored and thought, I want to get back into working. Like I actually missed working with clients. And I thought that I was going to come back and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do the full financial planning again. That's just too big. I've got my boys now. I'm just going to help people invest in property, and I'll just focus on that, and that'll be nice and easy and cruisy, and life will be good. And then, so I think when I started talking to Luke, I was probably very lost with who I was, what I was doing, what I wanted to be doing. And, I thought that I just kind of wanted to cruise along and do a little bit of work here and there, but actually, that's just not me. So I feel like I went through a real, almost like soul searching experience as it was sort of more about that and finding myself as opposed to the business and the numbers. And
Can I just interrupt? Sorry. So like after that first session, I was like, man, this is easy. She just needs to go and speak to some mortgage advisors who have got clients that want to invest in a rental property. Then she can help them. The mortgage advisor's going to be happy because they don't have to do it. Amy's going to get it right. I was like, man, this is easy. She's going to have a cruisy year. And then I think at about week 6, she was like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I'm like, oh shit. What I'm like, oh yeah, what's coming next? So yeah, just for some extra context there.
well, it's interesting because I mean, you probably have more clarity around what happened throughout that time than I did. I was like, yeah, really, yeah. And so what I feel like I have now found myself, and what's been so great is that, I had all these years doing financial planning and, had a successful business, and that was all cool. But now that I've come back and, oh, sorry. So what I've ended up doing is I'm not just doing the property investment, I'm back doing full financial planning services again, which is what I've always done. And what I realized is that for me, you kind of got to do all that stuff because you can't advise people on just one part of their financial world if you don't know all the other bits. You're just kind of guessing and making assumptions. And so I just ended up falling back into what it was that I had always done. But I think the biggest thing for me is just gaining awareness about myself, because I always am asking clients hard questions that they don't know the answers to, that really makes them think. And for the first time, like, Luke asked me some of those questions, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is what my clients must feel talking to me. But I feel like what I've gained is just this real awareness around what I'm doing and the meaning behind it and the purpose. And I'm really clear around why I love doing what I do. And it's not about helping people, create wealth and build a financially secure future and being fun, reaching financial freedom and blah, blah, blah. It's about like what's under that, like what it all means, and like Connor's story, a great story. But then the bit at the end that Luke added in around like the background of where you grew up and your mum still lives in that home and 93% of all the homes are social housing. So for you to now have the opportunity of having some ownership around your space, your home, it's like, that like that's just so meaningful. And so now when I'm working with clients, feel very purposeful around, I really want to try to get to like the core stuff, like what is it really about, what's like actually really important to them, because people think that I want this, I want that, this is what's important to me. But if you keep drilling down a little bit, you get to bigger stuff that they hadn't even realized. And that's just like gold. That's just amazing that I get to, do that with people. And so I feel like now that I've come back, it's like my chapter 2. I get to do it very differently. So my 90-day experience was me trying to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
Landed in a great place. So yeah.
And you're probably only, because our first session was the 17th of January. So I think you're only really getting clear on it by like probably middle of the year anyway, right? And so, the great thing is that we've then carried on our relationship, and Amy's become a sponsor for the Keep the Change podcast recently as well, because every week I now get people asking me what they should be asking Amy. Like, no shit, someone sent me a screenshot today of $1 million in a bank account. They're like, what do you think I should do? I'm like, I am not your guy, man. I'm like, I just say now, I'm like, I put it towards my goals, because I'm like, I can't. I know I've learned the hard way. If I answer those questions, even just attempt to give them some advice, then there's like 7 questions. I'm like, I'm not qualified to do this. So now I'm like, oh, I'd probably reach out to Amy. Yeah, that's probably what you need to do.
Amy
So,
told me to buy a bigger boat.
Did I?
yeah,
Pretty
interesting.
sure that was the advice.
Hey, the boat's important.
Yeah. Tax deductible somehow. But yeah, it's amazing, what you're doing. And I think it's like, I love it because it's similarities for me of what I do in the business side, but then what you do for everyday people, and encouraging them to think about where do they actually want to be. And I think like the favorite story that I always bang on about with you is like, or what people probably wouldn't expect, is that often you're telling people not to do things like, you don't need to buy the 7th rental property, or you don't need to put even more into shares. Like, maybe you're already there and you can help people get that clarity, and then the pressure is off for them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people that actually are already, they're on track, they're where they wanted to be. And what I find really fascinating, and it's usually business owners, so that, when you start out, you kind of think that you want to be to a certain point, and then you kind of just get so busy and growing the business and scaling and doing this and doing that, and then you actually get to where you thought you wanted to start out. When you started out, you get to where you wanted to be, and then it's like, oh no, that's not good enough now. Like, no, I don't want to accept that. Like, no, I actually want something more. I want to keep going. And that's something that I find with business owners, that it's very, very rare to meet a business owner that goes, yeah, I've done it. Like, I've made it. Like, just, we never get there. There's always something else to do.
Yeah, it's a really good point, because I think it's almost like if you tell someone in business, well, I think we're also scared of not growing, because we buy into that, if I'm not growing, I'm dying type thing. And so then it's like, okay, I've done that now, I better go bigger, or we better do it again. And, even Phil and I were talking about this a bit last week when we were doing our own business planning, where what we often do is we dig out our old business plan and then go back to like the year before. And it's like, we'll have the ability to say no to a client. Like, whoa, like, oh shit, man, that's good. Like, we do that every week now, quite often. But yeah, you can forget how far you come in business and in life, right? Yeah. Cool. I think from here, I was hoping Rose was going to be here, but Rose has got toddler issues, she tells me. But Rose has got a big event on Friday called Chapel. So she came on the podcast and did a bit of a wrap up of her 90 days. But she does supper clubs for people in home in the Mount area and different parts of the country as well. But she's hosting, I think, 200 people on Friday night in Tauranga. And yeah, she's nearly sold out, I think, but a little bit frustrated. It's the classic what we're just talking about. She's like, man, I was hoping it would be sold out by now. I reckon that last 48 hours before the event, as Andy was saying before, that she will sell out. So it'll be interesting to see. But there's also a couple of other people that couldn't make it as well. But I think from here, does anybody, from what anybody said, does anybody want to ask someone a question or add any extra detail? I'll just open up to everyone from here. We'll just shoot the shit.
Silence is golden.
No one needs any merch. Yeah.
Gordon, what
I
sort
do.
of electrical contracts are you looking for in Christchurch? What's a good garden variety client?
Okay, I've been doing boat work in Picton,
Mhm.
and I want boat work in Littleton. So I'm
Mhm.
just building up my skill there. I've been in touch with Littleton Marina to go in there. I also am looking for some clients that I want to say high-end clients, but clients like what Connor's got, people that value what I bring to the table rather than doing work for anyone and everyone. So ideally, that would be looking after a few businesses in terms of just being the guy that they call when they need electrical work done and come
As
around.
in like property developers, property companies, that sort of thing.
Yeah, look, I'm doing a bit of design and build construction,
Yeah.
but it's still quite cutthroat in terms of everyone is really probably I guess struggling out there and undercutting, and it's a race to the bottom. So I'm not interested in to the bottom. But yeah, look for the right person, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, flick us your details. The
Yeah,
weird thing about the gym that we go to in Christchurch, I
yeah,
think every property developer in Christchurch goes to that gym.
yeah,
Like
nice.
the Wolfbrook guys go there, Colliers,
Yeah,
well, fucking you name it,
yeah,
they're all in there. They're just talking property the whole time.
yeah,
So I thought I'll have my ears flapping. If anyone talks
yeah, awesome.
electrical and big dollars, I'll slide your card over.
Yeah, mate. No, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah. And you do uniform, do you?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'll flick you my details because I need some.
Oh, perfect. There you
And
go.
and someone said they would call me yesterday, but no, Monday, but they haven't. So you don't.
There's Lewis.
Yeah.
Tell us who they were.
Hey.
I said, tell us who they were. No, no, baby, don't. Yeah, yeah. Um, so Mitch couldn't make it, but Mitch, he's got a fascinating business. He's selling drones, like giant
Yeah.
drones, and doing drone spraying as well, and then teaching people how to fly them and fly under his license effectively to do drone spraying. But just yeah, fascinating little niche business. And then Hugh was going to join us, but he can't make it. He's got a butchery in Taupo and is looking to scale into um, other avenues as well through wholesale and just different bits and pieces as well. But I'm just mindful they both might watch the replay. But it's always just so cool to see the different things that people are working on.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hoping Rose was going to be on because my wife's a chef.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. She's
And
just messaging me, or she was messaging just after 7 saying, toddler issues, don't know if I'm going to be there. Bugger, yeah.
Luke, is there a way that we can get some sort of group, whether it be WhatsApp or Facebook or something that we can sort of share ideas or
Yeah, it's a good idea, eh? I think a WhatsApp I'd like is probably the simplest form, right?
Mm,
Because we use School, but I think School's still a bit like, oh, I've got to go onto a platform and then type in there and stuff. It is a really good platform, but I think for something like this, it probably would be quite cool to have a WhatsApp group, eh?
yeah. Well, just if you think it like if I'm thinking I don't need merch now, but down the track I will. And I hate New Zealand uniforms. So yeah, like it just you think, right, who was it? Oh, it was Matt. And then
Yeah,
makes life easy.
yeah. Well, part of my job is to know somebody in every industry that's really good at what they do, mate. So if you ever
Yeah.
need anything, funeral director,
Well, funnily enough, I was talking to Luke about funerals, and he's like, "Oh no, funeral director down the line, he'll get you sorted." So yeah, it was great. Yeah.
yeah, it is crazy. That's the cool thing about accounting is you end up knowing people that do like the randomest things. But I think it's also like how I'm wired. Like I just like seeing what people are doing and thinking like, oh yeah, they would be great to talk to that person. Yeah. Well, that's a good idea, really, the old WhatsApp group. I think there's definitely something there. Mm. I was actually talking to another business owner earlier about how, like a business mastermind, and how it just doesn't really seem to exist in New Zealand, eh?
Agree.
Yeah, where it's like I tried to put one together a few years ago, and people kind of like, oh, well, like, what am I going to get? I'm kind of thinking, well, just get ideas to talk to each other. And we've kind of done it at a small scale with Next Advisory on a monthly group that we do, but I just don't think, yeah, Kiwi people get it. Don't really want to do it, but
No,
yeah,
I'm in one. Me and Janelle are in one each, and it's predominantly people in North America, and they're far more willing to share than like the gym that I go to. One of my competitors goes to the gym as well, and like he'll walk past me, and I'll like angle the laptop as he's like walking past in case he's quoting on the same job or something like that. And everyone's much more of a closed book, Kiwis. But yeah, maybe it's a smaller market, so it's quite easy for you to be quoting on the same job if it's a good job. Whereas if you're in North America, it's unlikely that you're going to know the guy that you're quoting against, right?
yeah, that's the guy that I was speaking to because he sells internationally, and he was like, I promise you, Kiwi people are the hardest to sell to. And he was saying his take on it was that in America, it's kind of like they get taught how to introduce themselves, be outgoing, and things like that, to spend money on self-development. It's just way more part of their culture. So um, they just lean into it a lot more. As I think Kiwi people are like, oh well, well, I better be careful what I say, or someone's gonna, because the thing with the accounting space, I was saying to him, I don't feel like people openly want to talk about like their numbers in front of other people. But I
Yeah.
may be wrong. That might just be a limiting belief. But with because in my head, I wonder if we should be putting on some in-person type events next year, and inviting people and just keep the convo going and do some structured learning or whatnot. But yeah, will people be comfortable talking about what they've got going on? Don't know.
It's a tricky one, right? I once talked to this guy in America, and he rung a guy 86 times before he got the appointment.
Oh my God.
If you did that in New Zealand, like someone would drive around your house and punch you in the face.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
that's a bit of an exception we've got in Queenstown, being so multicultural. We get lots of different people coming through this town, and everybody seems to be doing something. Someone's either selling something or trying to hustle something or starting a business or doing something. You turn up to someone's property and they've got 4,000 square meters and they're not even from this country and they're only here a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
And they don't, and I find they like to be looked after. They like to be cared for, and they appreciate it when people want to look after them and give them a service.
When we Ubered back to the airport on Sunday when we left Connor, this guy was so happy, and I get chatting to him. I said, "Oh, how long have you lived here?" "Oh, I've been here 7 months." I said, "Where were you before that?" "Oh, I was in Christchurch." I said, "Oh, what brought you to Queenstown?" He's like, "More trips." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, pretty simple way."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, "There's more trips here." So I moved here because there's more trips. I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." But like, of course, that's the answer. There's more economic activity, therefore my life's going to be better. I'll make more money. Okay, I'll just move there. But I think, like a Kiwi, you'd be like, well, I shouldn't have to move. Well, that's bullshit. But you definitely notice it in Queenstown. The different, yeah, they're like just, yeah, like you say, wheeling, dealing, selling. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people are trying to stay here too, so they bend over backwards to see if someone's going to sponsor them.
mm.
A lot of people are trying to stay.
Hey, Chris has asked a question. Julian, how have you managed clients' expectations for access to you via your employee doing work? Granted, you're only a few weeks in, right? Or 2 weeks?
Yeah, only 2 weeks in. I saw that there. I was going to reply, but I think it'll be a slow progress. So, like the deliverables still come from me at the moment in the summary, but I've started CCing in those people on those emails, and just I guess it'll just be a process of them getting to know the other person as well, and knowing that they're doing good work as well. And I think it'll just sort of naturally transition after a while, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had that struggle a little bit when like we started our business and everyone wants to talk to you. And
Yeah.
we brought on an operations manager. And I think he just copied me into everything. And I just jump in every now and again. But, I think clients just get comfortable and then see they're capable. And it's worked for us. So, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, in our space and in banking as well, like the real big feedback's always a client or a customer gets gets pissed off if they think, oh, I'm just being dumped to that person now, and now I've got another, I'm gonna have to explain myself again, etc. And that's the real common feedback in accounting and banking, where people are like, oh, now another client manager. So I think as long as the lesson I've taken from that is like, as long as you communicate it well and that they're part of the team and here's what they're going to help with, then the client at the end of the day should just be well, they just want their thing done, right? But it's when, hey, this is such and such, but then they don't hear from them, or they don't do it, or they do it poorly. That's when I think the dramas start.
Yeah, stay close to the work, keep the quality high. No, it's just interesting to hear your stories and your experience. So thank you.
John, you're still with us, mate. You you pulled back over. You're on the road. Oh, you're on mute, bro. Oh,
Sorry about that. I've been listening most of the time. I just had a bit of a patch, but I was driving while I was listening, so that was good. I actually was going to ask you something, Luke. I was going to say, like, it wasn't just me that had a bit of the theme of the ownership there as well. So I was going to say, do you guys get somebody in as a third eye to ever look at how you guys run your business and give the same kind of pointers?
yeah. We don't have someone who like directly coaches Phil and I and challenges us. We both use people individually, and we're and then we come back together and go, okay, here's what we said we were going to do. Well, then why aren't we? We'll then challenge each other on that. But we don't do it that way. But yeah, it still adds for a fair bit of accountability and like challenge of, like, even last week, for example, we're looking at just the types of work we're going to be doing and then challenging each other on, but is that actually, like, is that the work we need to be doing? Does the world need us to be doing that? Yes, that could be an opportunity, but what if we avoid that just because we could do it? Should we? What if we did 4 lots of this instead? So yeah, we have to be like really deliberate to go away and actually spend time doing that, because we can have a lot of high level discussions, but in between meetings and things, and then very easily be like, oh, okay, like we haven't actually made a decision on exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah. And I think that's probably a good lesson as well. Like, as our businesses grow, I mean, a lot of these ones sound a lot bigger than mine, but as my business grows, probably having the same kind of conversations you were able to have with me, have those with the people I'm working with as well. That's kind of one thing I definitely will implement moving forward as well.
Yeah, some of the clients who have done 12-month business planning with us have ended up doing like quarterly sessions with their team, or especially like higher management and things like that, which is cool to see. But I think with SMEs, it's so easy to, another week to go by, then a fortnight, then a month. Before you know it, it's the middle of the next month, and then the quarter's gone. And yeah, I even said to Phil, was like, we need to, like, we actually booked in yesterday to go and do like we do planning, but I'm like, let's just go away for a night and then just do Dewey. Like, so basically, right, we're away to do some execution of this business plan. Because Phil will always identify that his biggest risk is, because he leans massively into that technician side, that he'll get back to his desk and be like, right, like I'll just carry on doing this. And so I'll be on his ass about, mate, have you text someone for a Google review? He's like, oh fuck. So no, I mean, it's probably a bit of a different dynamic with a partnership, but it's it's good fun.
Nice.
I reckon if we're gonna have like a bit of a WhatsApp group amongst ourselves, it's basically 90 days until the end of the year. It'd be pretty cool if we all just thought of something that we want to do by the end of the year. It could be anything, like it doesn't, just something that we want to do. And then, we can check in at the end of the year and we're all accountable to. There's a few people that we've got to be accountable to, and just see how we've all done.
Love it. Yeah, who's
Sweet.
up?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, yeah. It just reminds me, this is a bit of a tangent, but referred another accounting firm a piece of work, and they messaged and got in touch and said, "Oh, hey, thanks heaps for sending that over. Like, what do you drink?" And I just replied, "Oh, Dom Perignon these days." So it'd be interesting to see. I was thinking maybe we could wager a bottle of Dom, but I was just thinking hopefully they send that to me, and then I've got mine if I don't do whatever I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I think the cool thing about people who go through this 90-day process is like everyone's really like everyone's got a very different business, but also a very driven and like very motivated. Oh, yeah, one question that's actually this is my piece of action planning that I need to do. I was thinking about playing with the price next year. Do you, and you will not offend me, do you think that people would pay more than 7 grand for the 90 days?
Hey, look, I have a story about that. So I was reading on your website before I signed on for the 8K or the 7K. I don't know what bit of material I was reading, but I thought it was 15.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was just sitting on it and I was thinking, would I pay 15? Then I got in touch with you, you said it was 7. I thought, well, I'll take the 7. But I was considering it at 15. I thought, well, the same value is going to be delivered to me. You have, and having gone through it, I'm not someone who has seen a quick return on the investment. I'm not a story that says I've got 3 new or 5 new clients coming in, but I'm putting those bits in place, and that will be part of my accountability for this 90 days. Is I want to see, work over Christmas at the moment, and I don't think that value proposition is diminished anymore at double the price. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, again, I'm such a prickly pockets that, like, the more I pay, the more onus I'm going to put on myself at the end of it as well, right? So, like, coming out of this process, 100%, I would say, like, this is me being upfront and blunt as usual. Coming out of this process, 100%, I'd say, yeah, pay double. But going into it, I probably would have been a little bit more skeptical, because from where my business was, that was like a big step for me into a new space. But the more of like recordings like this and things you do where you put a little bit more content out and people learn what it is, then yeah, I genuinely think the price isn't going to be as much of a factor. I don't know what number you settle on, but it's not as much of a factor. But I'll be honest, with the content I saw before I got into it, without a personal conversation with you over the blower about it, there's probably no way I would have been doing it at much higher, if that makes sense.
Yeah, nice.
That was pre, not post.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's almost not a good sample because you've all gone through it. But I'm trying to think, because in my head I'm like, oh, I wonder if I go to 9 grand and go 3K, 3K, 3K to keep it simple. But someone going from maybe listening to the podcast or not knowing anything about us to right now they want 9K. Like, what? And do Kiwi people spend that much money over 90 days? Don't know. But yeah, the demand is there.
Yeah, and you'll have these resources now to be like, hey, don't listen to me, listen to 12, 15 others that have been through the process. And call John, he's blunt, he'll tell you what's up.
One of my best mates, he's from North America, and the day I got off the phone to you, I was talking to him about it, and he literally put some steak in his mouth and went, "Dude, it's literally 7K, who cares?" And I was like, yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. And I mean, I wasn't even disputing it or questioning. I was just talking to him just in conversation, and he had a big mouthful of steak and went, "Dude, it's literally 7K, who cares?" And I was like, yeah, you're right.
You're so right. Yeah. My mum said the same thing to me. She's like, are you doing anything like this? Have you done anything like this before? And I was like, nah. And she's like, what are you being stupid for? Like, do you think it'll help you out? And I'm like, yeah. And why you keep asking questions about it? And I'm like, yeah, I probably needed that.
I mean, I think I got quite lucky, on the back end of our 90 days, because I made obviously some adjustments and made that money back in double a couple of weeks later. And then I text you a couple of laughing faces and said, hey, just made this money, let's book in next year. Like, hey, someone's laughing, we should raise our prices. And I'm in work listening, thinking, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And, like when I reached out to you at the beginning of the year, like I'm a single mum with 3-year-old twins, and like I'm being just completely off. Like had never listened to a podcast before. I didn't even I'm just have no idea what's going on in the outside world. And my sister actually said to me, I was talking to her about something, and she actually mentioned about a podcast that Luke and John had done around something. I don't know what it was. She's like, no, listen to it. And then she spoke to me about it twice, and then she sent it to me. And I listened to about 10 minutes because that's all I had. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I saw something about this 90-day thing, and I was like, I need to do something like this. And I committed to myself that whatever it was going to cost, I was going to do it, because it's up to me at the end of the day. Like, I get help from someone, but it was like, I need to make this work. And so I was like, yeah, whatever it's going to cost, that I'll pay that. And then, like, I got to say that when you told me whatever it was, $6,000 or whatever, I was like, oh shit. Like, I did think that was quite a lot. I also didn't know like, who you were or anything. But yeah, I mean, I think, like, if people are serious, right, then
I agree. And it's not just about, like, it's not, I think some people might think, oh, I just need to do it if my business is struggling and I want to get to get to here. It's like, it's almost the opposite, eh? It's like, if you're doing well and you want to get to the next level, that's where I really think, yeah, I think that's a big distinction. With me, I was like, oh, business is doing well. It's growing by word of mouth. I'm doing sweet. What do I really need? What do I really need? What am I going to get from it? But it's going, yeah, well's good. But like I said, like, one of the biggest things that I probably forgot to mention is I had no personal life, right? And so it was like, okay, well's cool, but how can you get to great and get a bit of a personal life back and not work till midnight every night? And that was a big thing for us. I think that's probably the biggest thing for business owners that are considering it as well, is like, what's the value of that time that you get back to be with family, friends, whatever as well? For me, it's way more than $6,000-7,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah, John's like to me, but bro, like, I can work till midnight every night and I don't mind. So like, why would I change it? I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, because you don't want to do that for like ever, man. He's like, but well, what's the problem?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
While I'm young.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, man, we have a season of that, but like, maybe we'll change it up at some stage. Yeah, it's a
Also, Luke, it's like, it's kind of almost comes back to, who are the people that you want to be working with?
yeah. Yeah, I was actually going to say, the funny thing is that at 7 I could go to 9, but like what I said to Phil last week is, okay, the difference in that revenue, it doesn't really change our lives. Like, the service is actually about, okay, the right people that then take action, and then that's fulfilling and that's worth an increase in the revenue at our end. And so, yeah, I haven't settled on what I am going to do. But even there's actually been some over the last few years where they haven't got to where I'd hope they've got to. And so at the end of the 90 days, I'm like, hey, let's just stick in this together. Or even one where like halfway through, I was like, this is actually not what you need. This is, let's part ways here. And they haven't paid the full amount. So yeah, it's very evident. Like, normally when I speak to the person, the business owner, oh, I'll be able to help here and I can see the same patterns or what they're going to need. And then when I start getting into the info, like yesterday I did one, and the dude, I was done after 50 minutes and I was like, shit, man, I don't know if we're going to need 2.5 hours. Like, the plan is very simple. We need to solve this cash flow issue. And the only way we're going to do that is by ringing all of these people. And if that doesn't work, you need to ring me and we're going to have a crisis meeting and figure out what we're going to do to keep this going. And I was sort of thinking, I wonder, like, I don't know if I'm delivering enough value here. And at the end of it, like, we went through some other stuff and we're probably only 2 hours. And he was like, if that, he was like, mate, this has been so helpful. I'm like, phew. And then he emailed me last night and was like, mate, I can't put into words how valuable that was. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But it's like, everyone's different. And yeah, I guess that's what I like about it. And then seeing what people then go on to do. So it's not really about the money, which Amy would like to hear, with the purpose side of things. So even if I do increase the price, I'd say the demand will still be there, but I just wonder, is $9,000, like, to some people, shit, that feels like a lot more than 7, but maybe not.
I think it kind of comes down to how you. I was thinking about it the whole way through while everyone's been talking. It almost comes down to like how you pitch it. So people are happy to spend 9 grand or 10 grand on a holiday or wellness or saunas or cold plunge. So if it was business wellness and your business turns over 200,000 or 2 million and you spend 10 grand on the wellness of your business, it's a very small percentage. You know, that's like a physio appointment if you've got a sore knee, right?
Mate, you could be in marketing.
Yeah, I just think like wellness is such a big thing at the moment. Like if you're I almost want to do a little bit of A and B testing, like send it out at 12 grand for wellness and 7 grand for a 90-day course. I almost feel that the people that would grab that would pay more.
Yeah. Geez, there might be something there.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get this WhatsApp group set up and I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
That's your deliverable for Christmas, eh, Luke?
What's that, mate?
That's your deliverable for Christmas.
Yeah. I'll get one across the line at at 9 grand, or you mean setting up the WhatsApp group?
I mean, getting across the line at 9.
Yeah, good, because the activator in me is like, I'll set up the WhatsApp group now. Do you want to chuck your number into the chat and then I'll copy paste them? If I don't have, and then we'll figure it out. Yeah, wicked.
Just while you're doing that, Luke, my sort of thought on it is if you can see I always look at it as what am I paying for? Can I see Luke do the hours that I'm paying him for? And the answer is yes. So if I sort of figure out what your hourly rate would be as an accountant and then extrapolate that out, then I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yes. So that's sort of how I not necessarily justified it, but that's how I sort of thought of it when I was looking at coaching. I'm paying you an hourly wage, and that's pretty much how much it's going to be per month to hire you out on the hour.
Yeah, gotcha.
Without making you sound like you do hourly services.
Yeah. Good man. Sweet. Right, I'll copy all of these and figure out how to start a giant WhatsApp chat.
And also, I think you've been in this for years, like compounding your knowledge, like that. It's the same with any tradesman or professional. Like people forget, don't they? Like the amount of compounding knowledge that any professional's actually got under the belt. So it's all that you bring in with it, as it is with anyone else.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the other thing that I probably need to get better at explaining is like people look at it as, oh, it's that over 90 days, but really it's that you pay that over 90 days, you learn this over 90 days, but you don't, like, the information doesn't go, you then compound the knowledge on top of that. But a lot of people, I don't think, like, understand that. They're just like, oh, what's the price over the time frame?
You're teaching them how to fish, aren't you?
Yeah, like to think so. Cool, but yeah, didn't want to make this all about me. So, but good to get some.
No, but it's interesting because I feel like pricing is. I struggle with pricing. Yeah.
I think like
Dude, KiwiSaver, it's free, team.
Yeah, I think everybody does, right? Because you never really truly know like what the pricing is until the market says no, or there's competition that says, well, we're going to do it for this, and then you have to do it for something else, right?
How many people are value pricing then? And because like for me, I always think so, okay, I'm value pricing. So what does that even mean? What's the value? Like, because I'm so conditioned to hour in, hour out. Obviously, that's the journey that I'm going on is what is value and value price. And I got so overwhelmed. I tried to narrow it down and simplify it. And it was, can this person do the job that they need doing, or do they want to do it? And if they can't do it or they don't want to do it, I can do it and I will do it. So I've got value. And then that was like the understanding of it. And then putting an actual figure on that logic is kind of where I started treading water a little bit. So I'm just curious to how other people are looking at value pricing and what that actually looks like how they're determining that.
I've been thinking about a bit about that lately, Connor, and in my business, I'm wondering if I can apply a percentage-based rule on the value of the project that we're delivering. So if it's $1 million project or a $10 million project, the business case, market engagement, and implementation we facilitate for that is related to the outcome that the client gets from the system. So it's like the real simple example is you're selling someone a pen who needs to write down a number, lotto numbers, or they need to write down, a pretty girl's number that they found on the street. What are they going to pay for that pen in that moment? And linking it back to what's the outcome that the client's getting from the service, what does it free them up to do, what's enabling them to do, is how I'm trying to think about it now, instead of just adding up my hours and my contractors' hours.
Yeah,
It's still a hard question to answer, though.
It's even like this, right? Because like some of them, some of the 90-day sessions I'll think, oh, that one action item, like there's their $7,000 back. So then is it fair that they pay 7 and somebody else does, but they don't have like that lever? And I don't know that until I start getting into it. But yeah, I think I'll probably tell a story 1,000 times, but just like the Americans do it where they go, right, well, you always have like a real high value offer because somebody's going to see themselves as that. Whereas it's just not like the done thing to do here. But I guess you're seeing it a little bit more. But I mean, interestingly, the All Blacks experience, for example, they are introducing a VIP piece. They had, I think, 700 people, is it, Matt? Maybe 1,400 people to Rolly put in his LinkedIn post the other day. Yeah, 1,400 people across the All Blacks games at the like VIP type level and corporate level. And like if Eden Park said, no one's got any money, like we just can't do that, they would have all sat their GA. And probably just gone along and gone to a pub prior, but instead they're spending thousands. And yeah, I just think it's you've got to almost like teach yourself to be willing to go down that path and get rejected, right?
Did you do the merch for that, Matt?
No, they don't do a lot of merch. We had a chat to Nick about setting up a big system, but they just buy everything. Well, actually, they don't even buy it. If you sign a ticket with them, they'll send you a voucher for Fanatics, and then you just go online and buy an All Blacks scarf or an All Blacks hoodie. It's a pretty shitty experience, but they're contracted in that they have to use Fanatics because of All Blacks. But we might do some stuff with some of his other tours, hopefully. They take people to everywhere now, Formula One and cricket and Masters Golf, Ryder Cup.
Yeah, no, I met the guy at the Hamilton Test match against France because I tagged along behind a celebrity who got invited for free. And so we got merch. We got scarves and hats and all the rest of it.
Yes.
A beautiful box and all the rest of it. So
yeah. No, I love that. Well, actually, I don't know if I would love that account. We've done some stuff, and All Blacks are terribly hard to do work for. But Fanatics would be a good account.
Yeah.
Team, I've got an hour still to go, and I'm just bunny hopping between servers. So, been a lovely meeting you all. If you ever need to talk about KiwiSaver, please feel free to reach out. But I'm looking forward to catching up on this WhatsApp, and appreciate you setting it up, Luke.
Good man. Drive safe, mate.
Cheers, team.
Soon. Hopefully you don't work till midnight tonight.
We'll see what happens. Catch up.
Zero. Awesome. Well, yeah, unless anyone's got anything else, thank you so much for your time tonight. It's always, good to get good business owners together, and I've got some admin to do to try and figure out how to set up this WhatsApp group. I think I need to add contacts first and then add a group. But anyway, I'll give it to ChatGPT, get that dusted, and you'll hear from me before the night's out.
Oh, thanks for organising this, Luke, because
thanks very much.
It's, absolutely not something that you needed to do, but it's really great to just get, because being in small business can be a pretty lonely place, so it's really good to be able to connect with other people that, kind of understand what it's like to have a business.
And it's
challenges that we face.
That's a good point, Amy, because that's something that Phil and I often forget and then remind ourselves of and be like, shit, because we have each other, we're constantly like bouncing things off of each other as a partnership, and then reminding ourselves like, oh shit, not everybody has that, and it is like it can be very lonely, right? And then
Yeah.
your mates who aren't in business, like they don't care. They just probably assume that you should be putting your credit card on the bar and you'll be killing it and you can do what you want. And you don't understand how hard it is to have 20 days annual leave and they haven't been able to use it all up. And
Yeah, I think a lot of us are probably run by a husband and wife like we are, but we're too similar to challenge each other, really. So you're right, a partnership is a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, but saying that, like a lot of partnerships fail, like a very high percentage, probably just like you can imagine, relationships in this day and age, they take a lot of work as well. So yeah, very lucky to have someone like Phil.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Cool.
Sweet, guys.
One of my competitors' partnerships has come apart, so I'm desperate to find out the information about it.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? What do private investigators say? Oh, the best way to get the information is to ring the ex-girlfriend or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So you look them up on Facebook, mate. Hey, can I ask you a few questions? All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk very soon. But yeah, thanks again for making the time, and we'll stay in touch.
It's great. Thanks, Luke.
Thanks very much.
No worries.
Yeah.
See you guys.